Hey, what's happening, people? How's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope everyone is doing well today, man. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where we go across football media, consolidate everything that's being said about Chelsea Football Club, and I present it to you guys here in a manageable package. And today really does represent the changing of the guard. Much like when Robben and Ribéry left Bayern Munich, maybe not quite the same level of quality, but both Pedro Rodriguez and Willian have officially announced their departure from Chelsea Football Club. It's a new dawn, it's the end of an era. I want to talk about what both these players have said in terms of leaving the club, where they're both going, and what it really means and what they've done for the club. It's pretty big, man, because now Frank Lampard's Chelsea, a new dawn, new wingers, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, the youngsters, Hakim Ziyech. You'd imagine another winger to come in as well to replace, we can't just replace two outgoing wingers with Hakim Ziyech, so more business to be done there. What does it mean? There is a lot to discuss. If you enjoy daily football content regarding Chelsea Football Club, you should subscribe to Football Therapy, brothers and sisters. You might like it, hey, only if you want to and if you haven't subscribed already, but if you want to support me, help me out, why not like it? Why not drop a like on this video, please? Thank you. Alright, so both the players, Willian and Pedro respectively, have done announcements talking about their departures. I'm going to talk about Pedro first, and then Willian, like I said, tell you what they've said and what they've done for the club and, how they're going to be replaced and what it means, etc. Starting with Pedro, the Spaniard that's won literally everything. His trophy cabinet is gargantuan. What an excellent player he's been for Chelsea Football Club, man. He's won the Premier League, he's won the Europa League, FA Cup, all sorts, mate. Now, loads of people wanted Pedro from Barcelona. I think he was 28 when we got him, so still in his prime. Manchester United were heavily in for Pedro, but we managed to convince him to come to Chelsea, and not for that much money either. It was a relatively good deal, and if you look at his return for Chelsea, pretty darn awesome. Yes, he scored goals, yes, he assisted, and he scored the odd worldie too, but it was his work rate. He didn't have insane numbers, but he's a winger, he's not a striker. He just always pressed, always ran, and basically trained like an absolute professional, a superb servant to Chelsea Football Club. Now, Pedro's like 33 years old, and obviously his time has come. We were never going to renew his contract, and Roma are getting him at the end of the season. Great move for him, great move for Roma. It's a lovely little job that. And Pedro had this to say when departing Chelsea. After 5 wonderful years, my stage at Chelsea Football Club comes to an end. Thanks a lot to the club's board, to the coaches and teammates I've had, and of course, to the fans. Thank you for the experience of being a member of your big family. I've been very happy here and you've made me feel like I'm at home. It's been a pleasure and an honour to play for this club and win the Premier League, FA Cup and Europa League titles, as well as competing in one of the world's best football leagues. I made the right choice. I take with me a wonderful and unforgettable memories. I say farewell, very pleased with this stage of my career, and I'm also very excited with the next to begin. Thank you and good luck for the future. Come on, Blues! And that's it for Pedro Rodriguez. Lovely scenes, man. Big goals in him, scoring against Tottenham, could curl it, top bins, like I said, unmatched work rate. I think he has, across all competitions in his Chelsea tenure, he averages a goal involvement every 3 games or something. Pretty darn decent. Mr. Consistent, and let's remember that season under Antonio Conte when we won the Premier League. He was lethal when we had Hazard, Costa and Pedro, the PhD, all firing. He scored a bunch of goals. He was deadly. He looked awesome, and his combinational play of other forwards was superb. So thank you, Pedro. You will be missed. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Controversial Figure. The birthday boy, was it yesterday? Willian, the 32-year-old Brazilian who's played for Chelsea for 7 years. Now, Willian divides opinion, of course, between Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans dislike him unfairly, in my opinion, but I think the majority of Chelsea fans are happy for him to move on. Willian's scoring record has never been good, or assisting record, or he's never been good at taking corners, but what Willian has been good at is working very hard, and his creative numbers are very good indeed. He's also a very skillful player. Like, he can combine very, very well with top tier players, whether that's playing for Brazil or of course Chelsea. So he, you know, people don't always appreciate what he brings, but he's been an excellent servant for Chelsea. He's been the benchmark for work rate this season under Frank Lampard. There's a reason why Frank Lampard wanted to keep him so much, because he was the best example for the kids. Run to the end, always press, always get your goal side of the ball when, you know, with possessions turned over in transition. He's done all of that. And for me, I would have liked to have kept him for one more season, not as a starter, to help Ziyech, to help the transitional period of Frank Lampard. That was unrealistic. He was never going to be that transitional player. He wants to be a starter for the next 3 years, which is just unrealistic for him and Chelsea at the moment and where we are. And I can't understand that. I think maybe he asked that because he knew he couldn't get it, and it gives him an excuse to move on. Although Willian is much maligned on social media, at Stamford Bridge he was loved. People would always sing his name, and he'd worked very hard for the team. Now, Willian had this to say in his open letter to Chelsea fans. There were 7 wonderful years. In August 2013, when I received the offer from Chelsea, I was convinced that this is where I had to play. Today I'm certain it was the best of decisions. There were so many happy times, some sad. There were trophies and it was always very intense. Yet beyond the trophies, I learned a lot about myself. I developed a great deal, becoming a better player and a better person. With each training session, with each game, with every minute spent in the dressing room, I was always learning. I'm really grateful to the Chelsea fans for their affectionate way they welcomed me at Stamford Bridge and their support throughout my time at the club. There was also criticism, which is normal, but the important thing is that both the affection and criticism drove me to always give my all in every training session, every game, to be consistently improving until my last minute in a Chelsea shirt. The time has now come to move on. I'm certainly going to miss my teammates. I will miss the staff at the club who has always treated me like a son, and I will miss the fans. I leave with my head held high, safe in the knowledge that I won things here and always did my best in the Chelsea shirt. My heartfelt thanks goes out to all of you, and God bless you. A lovely message from Willian, and interesting how he did address the criticism, because there's been a lot of criticism. But I like it. He's pretty much said, thank you, it's been awesome, we've won a lot, I've grown a lot, and yeah, nice message. Let's be honest, he's going to Arsenal. It looks like he will get a 3-year deal in North London playing for Mikel Arteta, and to be honest, it's a pretty good move for them. You can understand why a free transfer like Willian makes a lot of sense for them, and you can make sense out of why Chelsea are letting him go to bring in Hakim Ziyech and maybe another winger. It kind of makes sense for all parties in this instance. I'm very, very thankful for Willian being a great player for Chelsea. Frustrating at times, but I can push past that and look at his 7 years and look at Chelsea's great success with him playing in this side. And also, you know, the 15-16 season where everyone was poor, he was our player of the season. You know, when Willian lost his mother as well, very sadly, he just wanted to keep playing for the team. All his teammates absolutely adore Willian, whether it's the crazy Diego Costa or magnificent Eden Hazard, or it's the kids that look up to him. Everyone and all managers, bar when he fell out with Conte, adored Willian, and there's something to that. You have to accept that. So good luck to him. I'm glad that he gets to stay in London with his family and his restaurant and David Luiz and all that. Hopefully he doesn't do too well for Arsenal as a rival club, but generally, you know, good luck to him. And this does mean Chelsea will probably look to buy another winger. You could say Hakim Ziyech is going to replace Willian, but who is going to replace Pedro? We don't really have any new up-and-coming wingers from the academy, like out-and-out wingers that you think would be natural auto replacements for the first team. Of course, a lot of Chelsea fans would really like Saïd Benrahma of Brentford to come to Chelsea, who's been linked with a multitude of Premier League clubs. He would probably be that perfect candidate for a rotational winger to come in and basically be third, fourth choice, you know, fight for his place, just as Callum Hudson-Odoi will have to. Do you know what I mean? But it does look like we need another wide forwards now, unless Frank Lampard has designs for Kai Havertz to play out wide, but I can't see that happening. I imagine he'll play as an attacking 8 on one of the inside channels. But it's a really incredible and interesting time, man. The world turns, the world moves on. Pedro and Willian have left Chelsea. It's over. Wedro out. It's exciting, it's unknown, but also, even though Pedro scored a lot of goals, he was never like a superstar in terms of offensive numbers. And of course, Willian wasn't. Willian did average probably like 6 goals a season. But if we can bring in wingers now that can score a lot of goals, that have an eye for goal, I'm sure Hakim Ziyech is massively about creativity if you look at his statistics, numbers and assists, but he can bang a lot of goals too. If we bring in another winger, someone like Saïd, Benrahma, who can score goals, Chelsea will have 4 really talented wingers on the books, and the new dawn, the new age of Frank Lampard's Chelsea will be born. Anyway, I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on both Pedro and Willian in their careers at Chelsea, their tenure. How do you feel about them both? How do you reflect upon both their careers? Don't say any abusive stuff about Willian if that's what you're thinking. Let's keep it nice. Let's keep it positive. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Remember to subscribe to Football Therapy if you're new to the channel, and also do subscribe to Jan's Yard, my second channel, as I'm planning to bring some football content over there that you might enjoy, so click in the link at the top of the description. Subscribe to Jan's Yard. That's it from me. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me bitch.